Welcome back to Cradle to Chaos. I'm trying to sound like less of a game show host this time.
Just sound normal,
Oh
Kelsey.
my gosh, I can't. There's so much pressure
I like
to
your
start.
game show. There's nothing wrong with it.
Welcome back to
Welcome
Cradle to
back.
Chaos. Our first contestant is Brittany
What
Horner.
up? Hey. Oh, that's funny. How are you?
Gosh, I'm good.
Oh,
I'm
yeah?
tired. I'm tired.
You really sold that one.
Chloe didn't sleep well last night. This is actually my tantrum, but I'll share it with you right off
Just
the
hop
bat.
right in.
Okay.
Tantrums. Let's do it.
I don't know what her issue has been the last handful of days. She's just been like whiny and clingy, and that is not her at all.
Teething.
So I kept thinking that, and we kept looking in her mouth to see, because she's got her 4 top teeth and then 2 bottom teeth.
Okay.
And I was like, I don't remember what comes next.
Me either.
And I didn't see anything like on either side of her, like bottom teeth or top teeth. And then one day I was like, maybe I'm just going to dig a little deeper.
Yes.
Girl has a molar coming
Yeah.
in.
Well, it's like what we talked about in our teething episode. You don't, like, the pain is before you see
Right.
anything.
But
The pain will be over by the time you see it.
I don't understand. Lainey didn't get
Well,
molars
Millie did?
until she was like 2.
That's weird.
Ugh.
Not weird. I'm sorry.
No,
That's-
it's
I'm
fine.
not
Lainey's a
calling
freak.
her
It's
daughter.
fine.
That's unusual. That's not or that's not the norm.
But
I mean,
anyways.
Millie got hers probably around Chloe's age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's just funny to me because she
'Cause
has
you just-
4 front teeth, a huge gap, and then
And
she's
then
gonna have a
molars.
molar.
That's how
But-
Millie's were, and then I think everything else just kind of fell into place.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's why I was giving her Tylenol though this evening.
which she loves, guzzles
she-
it down.
Actually drinks it like a bottle.
Man, which is crazy that she's not sleeping because she's like been such a good sleeper.
Yeah, I mean, when I say she's not sleeping, I mean, she wakes up a couple times during the night and like wiggles around and goes back to sleep. But
Does she like cry?
yeah, she's been waking me up, and then I'll finally fall back to sleep, and then she does it again, and I'm like, ugh. So she's actually probably getting more sleep than I am, but it's fine.
Yeah, and sometimes they do that and they're not even awake.
Yes, which is actually
Very,
annoying.
very annoying. Millie does that. She's been doing that almost once a night for the past like week.
Right now?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
And she'll just kind of like
gosh.
whine a little bit, and it wakes me up enough that I go in there, and usually I just put like her blanket back over her because maybe she's cold.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can really think of. Or she just like woke up and she's like, you know.
I've gotten into a routine with Lainey every morning when she wakes up. I say, "Did you sleep good?" And she always says, "Yeah." And then I started asking her if she had any dreams. Which, like, she's 3. I don't know. Like, she knows, but randomly one day she said, "I had a bad dream." And I was like, "What did you dream about?" And then she didn't answer me. So
Oh,
we do this app with her where you read stories and it like slowly, gradually gets them up to like quote unquote reading sight words.
Aw.
And the night before she had read a book about dreams. And that was like, it said, "I had a bad dream about pancakes." So I wonder if she said that. And then when I asked her what it was, I was waiting for her to say pancakes.
pancakes.
But she didn't. So
That's
I don't know.
funny.
Cannot confirm whether or not she had the bad dream. But.
Yeah. My tantrum's all about, we're going through, I can't remember if I mentioned this before. We're going through the Millie do phase where Millie has to do everything herself.
Oh, well, yeah.
Millie do. Millie do. I do. I do. Millie do. Last night, putting a pull-up on before bed, she insisted on doing it, and oh my God, I almost lost my mind. It took so long. She couldn't get it, and of course, like, she wouldn't let me help her.
Yeah.
At one point, she had it like done on the
Yeah.
sides, and
Uh-huh.
she couldn't figure out. But if I tried to help her, it was
Right.
all hell would break loose.
Yeah.
So it's gotta be
Just
patient,
the
I
age.
guess.
Yeah.
It's
Lainey
everything though.
can put her pull-up on by herself now, so we don't have to worry
That's
about
great.
that. But like now it's other things, like she wants to put her socks and shoes
Yep.
on by herself, and she's mastered like putting pants on, but shirts are a little tricky.
Yeah.
So
They are. She's good at taking everything off.
Yeah.
Actually. Oh my
Yes.
God. This could be my treat. Sorry, it's timely. I'm going into it.
it's okay.
Okay, so like we took her to this like farmer's market or whatever, and like there's like this little water feature nearby where it's like a little, like there's steps and you can play in the water, and there's like a water wall. So we always let her get in it, but usually it's just like you don't get like submerged in water. It's just like your feet. I mean, you can if you like,
Yeah.
get down on your hands and knees, but we don't typically do that, but every time we go, she like starts to like take her clothes off whenever she sees
it's
water.
Like a splash day.
Yeah. But like last time we went and I actually did bring her bathing suit. So I was like, okay, yeah, like you can take your clothes off.
That's amazing.
And then my parents, she was at my parents the other day. They were watching her and they made little like boats with like a little kit from Target, and they had this little like Tupperware full of water, and Millie saw it and just starts to like try to take her clothes off to get in. I'm like, oh my
I
god.
don't think you're gonna fit in there, girl.
Yeah, no, she went.
That is so funny.
She went right in there.
Aw.
But she did keep her clothes on.
Well,
so.
I mean, she's a toddler. She doesn't have. She can be naked if she wants to.
That's true. That's true.
Do you have
She's
any
so
other
funny.
treats?
Yes, my other treat is something that Millie's been doing, but it was extra noticeable this weekend because Matt's parents were in town, so grandparents that she doesn't see that often, so she was eating up all the attention. So we do dinner with my parents once a week, and she like towards the middle, I would say, she gets down from her seat and then she goes over to whoever's on her left, and she has to sit on their lap for approximately 1 minute. Then she goes to the next chair and has to sit on their lap for approximately 1 minute. Then the next chair, I call it
It's always to the left.
It just depends, really.
I was like, that's interesting.
But it often is. Yeah, she's got a little routine down. I call it lap hopping. So this past weekend, we had my parents come over. So it was 2 sets of grandparents. And I don't, like, I was pretty sure she was going to have a heart attack of happiness. Like, she's like, Grandma Nana, Grandma, Papa. Like, she was just so happy.
That's so sweet.
And she would just hop from everyone's lap, and she was kind of like introducing them in a way. She'd be like, Grandma, Nana. It was just really cute.
I think it's so funny how Lainey also has a grandma, grandpa, and a nana and papa.
Yeah. That is so cute.
It's just so funny.
Yeah.
Are your parents?
Nana and Papa.
That's like Adam's parents.
Okay.
That's so funny. That was one thing that we always talked about. Like before we even had kids, we're like, what do you think they're gonna call? Like, is it gonna be grandma? Is it gonna be like nana?
Did your parents choose?
So no, Lainey started calling Adam's mom Nana, just like kind of out of nowhere.
Interesting.
And then originally she used to say Meemaw because she couldn't say grandma, but my mom didn't love that. So
Yeah.
we corrected her to grandma. So it's been grandma, grandpa since then.
My mom was very stern on, I will not be grandma. I will be Nana.
Oh,
Which I don't blame her.
yeah. No, whatever feels right, I guess.
Yes. What are your treats?
Okay, I have. It's more of a funny story, but it is a treat the way Lainey handled this. So we had dinner just a couple nights ago at City Barbecue with Adam's parents. And when her papa went to stand up, he went to take his tray to the trash, and he had a bowl of green beans that slid off the tray and landed upside down directly on Lainey's head.
No.
Like I had her hair up in like a half bun that he pulled the bowl off. There was a mountain of green beans sitting on the top of her head on her bun. She's just standing like with her arms out, looking down at the ground as all of the green bean juices just dripped off of her face and off of her hair, and she just stood there like a statue. She wasn't moving. I was laughing so hard I was crying. Adam's dad felt so bad. He kept saying, I'm so sorry, sweetie, you're okay, I'm so sorry. Adam's trying to clean her up. They're like just like picking up green beans off of her
She's
head.
like a human green bean at this
And
point.
then she finally looked up and just went, Papa.
Why'd you
It was so funny. We kept calling her Green Bean Head the rest of the day. She thought it was so funny. And then she does this thing where something could have happened like 3 seconds ago, but she'll say, remember when, so the whole way home, remember when Papa dropped his green beans on me? So cute. It was just so funny. And it was one of those moments where like, she's either going to lose it or, so it was interesting to see what direction that went.
That is so funny.
It
She went in a good
was.
direction.
I like saw it in slow motion. Like, oh my God.
That's so
Like,
funny.
well, I'm going to go home and take a bath.
yeah. You're going to smell like green beans. Your poor car.
Oh, it was an Adam's truck. Perfect.
Love it for us.
Not that my car would have really mattered anyway, but
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
so funny.
so funny. Oh man. All right. Well, this is a hard pivot.
Yeah, this is a hard
but
pivot.
Today we're going to talk about just kind of like all things surrounding body image, because I feel like we kind of got into it in our postpartum episode a little
Yeah,
bit.
that's true.
But I feel like nobody really talks about how you view yourself postpartum and how do I want to say this? Bounce back culture kind of expects you to quote unquote bounce back to like the body that you were like in.
Right.
Or like it just kind of like sets that precedent almost. Like for me, like when I first got pregnant with Millie, I was like, yeah, whatever, I'll get back to this in no time. Like it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be great. Like and I just think that's like
People don't realize you're like physical, like your bones move.
yeah. Yeah. Like my literal organs.
Yeah, we're
moved
pushed into your
around.
chest. Yeah.
Like everything was moved around, and it's just like I feel like I expected everything to quote unquote bounce back. I hate that so much, but like I expected to be the exact same person I was prior to pregnancy, like physically, and that's just like mentally you're different in pretty much every way, and I feel like physically you're different too, and it's not a bad different. It's just different.
No.
Like,
yeah, I think body image in general is just really hard for women.
it totally is.
So especially having two girls, this is a topic.
I was going to ask.
Yeah. I try really hard to stay very positive and purposeful anytime I'm saying anything about their body. And it's really hard. Not like I would ever say anything negative, but like, I don't know. I don't want them to ever second guess the way that they look.
Yes.
Like Lainey will point to her belly button and say, "What's that?" I'm like, "That's your beautiful belly button."
Yeah.
Like just like little things like that.
Yeah.
I remember being very concerned about how big my belly was at a pretty young age. Like I want to say I was like 10, maybe 9 or 10.
Yeah.
And I just like, I don't want the girls to have to go through that. I mean, I'm sure that they will in some form or another, but
yeah, I will say though, I think things are changing. Like body positivity is way more of a thing than it was when we were kids.
Definitely.
Because I was the same thing. Like I got bullied for being like a chubby kid. Like none of the boys ever liked me. I never had little boyfriends. Like I was the chubby girl.
I think,
and I hated it.
I think even like brands have started using like different size models and like things like that, because that's what people then aspire to look like. And I think it's important to note that not
real life.
Well, yeah, but not every body can physically look like that too. Like it's just like we're all built different.
Yes.
I try really hard to I know I said this about like Lainey's belly button, but I try not to say things about specific body parts. Instead, I'll do this like overall, like you're beautiful. Yeah. Like just like I say beautiful a lot. I need to come up with a different word, but
there's nothing wrong with beautiful.
And I started this with Lainey from a really, really young age. We started to do affirmations.
Yeah.
And it's kind of fallen off. I don't do it I used to do it every single morning with her, but like she's gotten to the point where she'll do it by herself now, and she'll just look in the mirror and say, "I'm beautiful, I'm confident, I'm kind, I'm smart, I'm strong, I can do anything." And then we always will end it with, "I love me and I love you."
Oh, and I love that.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know if she like understands it right now, but
she will.
Hopefully.
That's super sweet. Yeah, I remember like after having Millie, I like after seeing everything that my body went through, and like especially with a C-section and just like with pregnancy in general, like my body just created a human. I just remember thinking to myself, like, I will never say anything negative about my body ever again. Yeah. Because at that moment I was like, this is absolutely incredible that my body did this. Like, who cares if I have a little pooch? Like I had a C-section. Of course I'm always going to have like I'm going to have a scar, obviously, but like the skin is just like a little bit looser right there. And that's always going to be that way. And I'm totally fine with it, because that's like my scar from literally creating life.
I look back at pictures of me literally like the day before I went into labor, and I'm like, gosh, like it's crazy how your skin can like stretch. I'm like, of course my belly doesn't look cute.
It's like I had 2 children. Yeah. Like, of course.
Yeah.
It makes sense. And I think too, just like aging, like
Yeah.
It is what it is. I know it sucks, but it is beautiful at the same time, you know?
Okay. No, I think after I had Lainey, like after I had my first baby, I was kind of in the same headspace as you. Like, I don't give a fuck
did not
about
care.
any of this
It was
anymore.
like the least of my worries.
Yeah, I was literally like, it's fine, it's whatever. But I struggled with body image as a kid, as I said, but like even all the way up to my adult years before I had kids, I feel like as a woman too, like I would feel like I was trying to suck it in all day long.
yeah.
And I remember the day I got pregnant and I was like, oh, I don't have to do that anymore. And it was such a freeing feeling because I'm like, people are going to think I'm extra pregnant. I'm just not sucking it in.
Yeah, just let it out.
Let it all hang out. Yeah.
I love that. I think in my 20s, especially like around college years, I kind of like, I would base my own self-worth on how I looked.
Oh, for sure.
And like, if I didn't feel good about my body, I didn't think I was like worthy of like love or like just like.
I think that's a pretty common thought, especially
yeah,
like.
but it's like shitty that that's common.
Yeah, but like you said, I do think that the world is shifting downward in some areas, but upward in others.
True.
Where I do think that like inclusivity and body positivity and like mental health and things like that are getting very much better.
Yeah.
But however,
yeah,
I do still feel like there is like this crazy double standard in men versus women dynamic of bodies. Like the need to constantly feel skinny is definitely, I mean, I feel like men feel that way too, but like if you see a guy on the beach like letting it all hang out, like people laugh about it and they're like, good for you, man. But if you see a woman the exact same way, it's like, ew, she's gross.
Right.
Like, God, cover that
But
up.
like also remember dad bods? That just became a huge thing the last few years. And like people are like, I love dad bods.
Yeah.
Like, I love my dad bod. Dad bod. But it's like if a woman were to say like my mom bod, like that would be weird.
Yeah.
Like that. Like, what does that mean? Like, we're expected to, like, take care of the kids. Like, basically within, like, a week or a month of having this newborn child, take care of this newborn child. Figure out how to breastfeed. Don't get any sleep.
But also make sure you look like a model all the time.
And also just make sure that you know, bounce back to your old self.
Now, I will say that this is coming from society, not my partner.
Oh, for sure.
Like, you know.
No, this is just, like, what is in my head of, like, what I feel like it's expected of me.
I do feel like, I mean, some people might have that situation too where, like, you know, which is sad.
Yeah. I actually did lose pretty much all of my baby weight with Millie pretty quickly because I had, well, she had IUGR, so she had growth restrictions, so she was only 5 pounds. I only gained 15 pounds the entire pregnancy.
Oh my gosh.
Because I also had gestational diabetes.
Oh,
so
you had to eat healthy.
Yeah, I was actually eating healthier in my 3rd trimester than I had been before pregnancy. Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like it kind of fell right off with her, but that's not to say it's always going to happen with future pregnancies.
It did not all fall off with Lainey.
Yeah.
It was tough. I mean, I don't think I started losing it until after I had Chloe. Chloe, I bounced back with a lot quicker.
Which is interesting because usually the second kid they say like does like
I don't know and I'm like well, maybe it was the breastfeeding because people say that can help, but I don't know. I don't know if it was just a coincidence or what, but like she was also a massive baby, so
true.
She was large and still is to this day.
Did you, after having the girls, did you go back to like your old clothes or did you stay wearing maternity clothes?
I feel like with Lainey, I was like determined to. I'm like, this is going to happen. And then the first time I tried and like cried a little bit about it, then I didn't. And with Chloe, I was like, leggings are life. Like I am never wearing anything other than these. And it was the middle of summer too, so like maternity shorts, forever.
Oh yeah,
yeah. No.
I only wore maternity leggings and still my maternity clothes.
Yeah, it
for
was
like a good month.
Elastic band, everything.
Yeah, I think I got V-necks in like a bigger size, like a size up. So during pregnancy, they weren't maternity, but they were just like baggy, and I wore those like pretty much all through.
Also, like nursing clothing is made a little bit baggy or stretchy. Yeah, because there's a lot of maternity clothes that I had that second as nursing. So I had a lot of that too. Yeah, so I didn't feel. I didn't really care about it, but I was also out. Like, I had so much time off with Chloe also that I've mentioned that I would like didn't feel like I was going to be around anybody anyway.
Yeah.
So I didn't really care. But
Put
I
on
guess
whatever
like
you want.
going back to work with Lainey, I was like, God, I gotta, because then I had to wear dress pants. I'm like, and those don't give at all,
no.
you know, like. So that was an interesting return
Yeah.
to real life too.
Yeah. I
Jen, you just have to jump back into it. Suddenly you're just like back at your 40-hour-a-week job.
Right.
And
But you're so different. Your body's so different. Everything's so different.
yeah.
So if you're pregnant right now, lower the expectations of getting back into your pre-pregnancy clothes because you don't know how your body's going to shift.
It's true.
And it's going to look different than it did beforehand.
And compliment somebody today because they might need it.
Yeah.
For sure. Like, I mean, even when somebody's like, oh my God, you look so cute today. I'm like, oh my God, thank you so much.
Yeah. I'm like,
even if I actually look like shit, it's fine.
like
Lie to me.
Right. When I was kind of researching this, something interesting that I read was like reframing things in your mind. So if you have like that negative self-talk that's like telling you like, oh, you're not worthy because you don't look good or something like that.
Yeah.
Here's an example. So if you think the stretch marks on my hips and my belly are so gross, reframe it to be, I'm thankful that my body was able to stretch and change and allow me to carry my baby. And I know that's like really hard to do. And I know it's not going to happen all the time. But I do feel like that's like good advice.
Yeah. I think that is something interesting that you bring up. So with Lainey, I was obsessive about putting the oils and the creams on my belly every morning and every night, like for my entire pregnancy. I got like a couple stretch marks at the end. And then with Chloe, I was like, screw this, like not doing it, too tired. And I got a lot of stretch marks and like those suckers don't go away. So that is something I'm like, well, I guess I'm just going to be high-waisted for life. I don't think I'll ever be that person who like is proud to show them off. Yeah. And there are people that are like, hey, I don't care. Like, that's awesome for you, but I don't think I will ever have that confidence to do that.
I feel like I would, just because like I feel like I just don't care anymore.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm just like,
but
I'm just letting myself go. No, I'm just kidding. No, I just feel like I
definitely don't think I will ever wear a bikini again.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I am like one piece for life, or like tankinis, like the high waist, and even like
never say never.
Well, I put on a pair of, it was laundry day, and so I put on a pair of jeans that are not high-waisted the other day, and immediately took them back off. I was like, I can't, this feels so weird. And it was just like thinking back to high school, and like low rise was where it was at. Yeah. Like, how did I survive wearing those?
You have some like midriff showing.
Yeah. And I remember saying like, ugh, mom jeans, like high rise. But high rise is kind of in right now, but.
Yeah, but now low is coming back.
I know, I said I pray it doesn't come back, but here it is. So. Body image is tough. It is, I still think that it's more of a women thing than a man thing. Totally. But I don't know, I could be wrong. I might just putting a stigma out there.
It more.
Yeah.
We might just talk about it more and like care about it more.
Let me rephrase.
Yeah, reframe.
I think that women's body image is talked about more negatively than men's.
Yes.
Is that fair?
We care way more about
what women look like. Even to each other. Yeah. I think women are mean. I think women are meaner than men.
Yeah.
For sure. More judgmental.
Yes.
Especially online.
Yes.
I think that people just suck sometimes. And I think that is another thing that is interesting that our kids are going to grow up with that we didn't, is that like quote unquote cyberbullying and stuff like that. Like,
yeah. Like, how do we make sure that our girls don't feel like the impact that we did?
It's an interesting concept because I don't want my kids to ever get bullied. Right. But I feel like on the flip side, I more so don't ever want them to be the ones doing the bullying.
True.
You know what I mean? But it's bad either way. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because, like, I mean, bullying has such a mental load on kids now, especially when it's done behind the screen and everybody can jump in.
Yep.
And then, you know, they talk about it at school and whatever.
Yeah, of course. People have big voices when they're hidden behind a screen and a keyboard.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
That is an interesting.
I try to do the same thing with you right now. I mean, Millie's 2, but like I try to just be like, you know, if she puts on an outfit, like, you are so beautiful.
Yeah.
And she's like, she gets a little bashful and like sweet about it. And I'm like, I'm always going to tell her that, like, no matter what, like, I don't care what size you are. It's not going to make me love you any less.
Right. And we'll do things like if I put something on her and she's like grown out of it, I'm like, oh my gosh, you're getting so big.
Yeah.
We have to get a bigger size for you. And
yeah, you're growing.
Like, I wish small, medium, and large were renamed.
Yes.
You know, because it already sounds negative.
Right.
Like, I'm a small versus I'm a large.
I'm a large.
I'm an extra
large. Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it doesn't sound good at all.
it needs to just change. It needs to be like
Totally.
tall, grande, and venti.
Yes. Or give us our measurements, like European sizing.
Like men's clothing.
Yeah.
Jeez, it's such a marketing ploy, I swear.
And I feel like I never fit in one of them. I'm always like in between.
Always.
You know?
Always. It doesn't, it's not fair.
Yeah.
I feel like that's how Lainey is too. Like, she's just too short,
Yeah.
but still like has like built like a toddler, so she needs like a little extra room, and nothing fits her. Like, you're fine. You're just I'm gonna put a paper bag on you and you'll be fine.
Yeah, they're in between baby and kid, and it's like there's
so sad.
Yeah.
Well, I want to hear everybody's thoughts on this,
Me too.
especially if they feel like there is this stigma between men and women, because I don't think I'm making it up.
Right. I don't think you're making it up either.
I'm not. It's a real thing.
I think it's a real thing too.
Well, do you want to hear what we're going to talk about next week?
Yes.
Okay, this is kind of a very specific topic, but I want to talk about how it is important to take days off from parenting.
Oh.
And I want to add in there different ideas for date nights, or like things you can do without your kids, like when you don't have your kids for the night, even if it's not a date night, or like what do you do when you don't have your kids?
Okay.
So
Love it.
specific, but I honestly just need ideas for our next date night.
Yeah. Love it. So listeners, comment on our Facebook group or on our Instagram. Let us know your favorite date night ideas. And we'll share them on the pod.
We will. Thank you so much for listening.
You are beautiful.
Always. You're beautiful.
Your body has done such amazing things for you. Yeah, do your affirmations.
Say, I am beautiful. I'm
beautiful,
confident. I'm kind. I can do anything.
I can do anything.
I'm smart. I'm strong.
I'm strong.
I love me.
I love me.
And I love you.
I love you.
Should we end every podcast?
Actually, I do kind of like that.
Thank you for listening.
All right. Bye-bye.